Quick question. What's 6 inches long and makes men groan when Nancy Pelosi touches it? Don't worry, it's a gavel. Look, guys, left, right, center, lefties pretending to be center out of sheer sky-smashing fucking embarrassment over the last 3 years. If you weren't yet persuaded that appointing the same woman head of the House, who effectively tanked her entire party last go-around, lean back, brandish your balls in your fist, and enjoy a hearty laugh with me in fucking unison.
Our democracy is what is at stake. The president leaves us no choice but to act because he is trying to corrupt, once again, the election for his own benefit. The president has engaged in abuse of power, undermining our national security and jeopardizing the integrity of our elections. His actions are in defiance of the vision of our founders and the oath of office that he takes to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Sadly, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders and a heart full of love for America, today I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
Not to worry, though. This was all a matter of principle, after all. Not blind, spittle-flecked fucking rage. Why, just sit back and steep yourself in the sublime, near-comatose calm of Nancy Pelosi mere moments after the very same announcement.
Here are the latest headlines now. 2 hours ago, Nancy Pelosi came out right off a sorry?
Representative Collins, we don't hate anybody, not anybody in the world.
Relax, Jim.
Accuse me.
I did not accuse you.
You did.
I asked the question.
You did. And
Representative Collins yesterday suggested that the Democrats are doing this simply because they don't like the
I
guy.
had nothing to do with it. Let me just say this.
I think it's important.
I think the president is a coward when it comes to helping our kids who are afraid of gun violence. I think he is cruel when he doesn't deal with helping our dreamers, of which we're very proud. I think he's in denial about the climate crisis. However, that's about the election. This is about the election. Take it up in the election. This is about the Constitution of the United States and the facts that lead to the president's violation of his oath of office. And as a Catholic, I resent your using the word hate in a sentence that addresses me. I don't hate anyone. I was raised in a way that is a heart full of love, and always prayed for the president. And I still pray for the president. I pray for the president all the time. So don't mess with me.
Atta girl, Madame Tussaud. Nothing screams solemn political duty, unswayed by sheer piss-boiling anger, quite like shaking your fucking fist at journalists and shouting, "Don't mess with me," before rolling video cameras. And am I crazy, or did Nancy's plastic butcher put a bit more nip in her tuck this week? Looks like her face caught fire and they tried to put it out with a fork. Just for future reference, DNC, when selecting a dispassionate spokesperson to convey stately calm while announcing an act of obvious political vengeance, maybe don't choose the Phantom of the Oprah. And it's this outburst specifically that reinforces my original contention that Pelosi is being all but held hostage by the fringe left in her own party, which is saying something given that she represents just this side of socialist San Francisco, the city that punishes bystanders for blocking the path of an illegal alien's bullet. And with history repeating itself, it's incumbent upon my egotistical ass to point out I definitely called it here. Look, the DNC has to know how post-apocalyptically bleak the long-term prospects are if they pursue impeachment. Not in the most skewed poll generated from the coziest quarter of CNN's scrotum is there a scenario whereby the Democrats actually vote on this shit, for which they are mathematically guaranteed to lose, by the way, and don't get positively decimated in the aftermath. It always happens. As I said before, Bush may have beaten out Al Gore after the impeachment fiasco of the late 90s, but only barely. And in fact, some still debate whether he did at all. More importantly, down ticket, the GOP were pulverized after hosting that three-ring fucking circus, only stabilizing later on in the decade to repossess themselves and both houses of Congress. But that was with a coherent, compassionate, conservative strategy that, frankly, the Democrats do not fucking possess at the moment. So why the sudden push to impeach? To me, it's obvious. Trump forced their hand by launching a counter-investigation into the obviously politically motivated Russia probe. If that doesn't happen, the Dems drop the whole thing and slink away to their pig fuck of a presidential primary. But with Barr slamming the gas and calling witnesses who are already actively flipping on each other, in a rant I've yet to release, by the way, I discussed Andrew McCabe accidentally spilling the beans about Barack Obama greenlighting this entire fucking investigation that left the lefties with but one recourse. The only card left in their deck, misdirection via a media circle jerk called impeachment. They know they don't have the votes. They know the party of impeachment always suffers in the aftermath, but it's the only Hail Mary left in their fucking playbook, which isn't to say there isn't a longer game at work for the establishment. Believe it or not, the DNC does have a long-term strategy. Unfortunately for them, it's a very long-term strategy.
So that when we get to 2042 or 2045, whatever year you want to use, that we actually will not be suffering from what other countries like South Africa have, which is having the numbers but not having the power. We want, people say demographics are not destiny. Well, we're trying to make it destiny. So that's the work that we're doing.
Hey, anyone else old enough to remember when that was considered an underpants-on-skull conspiracy theory only Alex Jones would allege in his most furious mescaline-fueled fucking asides? Man alive, ain't it just nuttier than chipmunk turds how many conspiracy theories have ceased to be fucking theories in the past 3 years? Point being, they do have a strategy in the longer term, but only if you measure length in Peter Northian denominations. And that ain't gonna help in the shorter term, particularly since getting your electoral O-ring blown the fuck out in 2020 actually goes a long way to giving Trump enough of a mandate to get even more work done on curtailing unchecked illegal immigration, which will foul their fucking hustle in the longer term, meaning at bare minimum, they'd have to reverse every Trump-era immigration policy and start the ethnic replacement strategy over from scratch in 50 fucking years when Democrats can finally get elected again. See why they're spurging out just a bit, frothing at the mouth about imagined Russian conspiracies, asking us to read between the lines on a blank fucking page? If you ever wondered why no politician has all the answers until they write their memoirs, now you know! Lacking the votes and all but assuring their own annihilation in the next round of voting, really none of this particularly concerns me. In fact, the impeachment itself may allow Trump's surrogates to call key witnesses in the Russia investigation, effectively reverse engineering the proceedings in their entirety. No, my lone cause for concern in all this is the actual mechanics of the impeachment itself, namely, the lack of a coherent charge. At every turn, Democrats have resoundingly failed and refused to categorically or logistically delineate exactly what Trump is actually being accused of. Quid pro quo ain't even a crime, even if they had proven it, which of course they haven't. So absent an actual charge, they've been forced instead to attach themselves to the ambiguous abuse of power charge, which I find baffling in about 50 different fucking ways, folks. For one, ain't this the same party that argued against Clinton's removal? Because I can't imagine a more explicit abuse of presidential power than using your position as president to steep a cigar in an intern's uterus. But hey, that's just me. But more importantly, if abuse of authority, by definition, which is not listed as a crime anywhere in the Constitution or its associated amendments, mind you, is a chargeable fucking offense, hate to break this to you, but Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution stipulates the House of Representatives can impeach a president, vice president, and here's the tricky bit, any civil officer, up to and including senators and representatives, meaning if the Russia investigation inquest uncovers anything whatsoever, the president wouldn't be the only one being impeached in the House. And yes, that would be the same House of Representatives that would be put in mortal peril of flipping red if these fucking retards actually go through with this. You wanted impeachment? Monkey paw wish granted, motherfucker. The only issue of genuine concern to me will be one for future generations, namely, that a nebulous criteria such as abuse of power can and will be nebulously applied. Hell, when pressed on what actually preceded the decision, Pelosi just mumbled some bullshit about the Michael Atkinson deposition being a, quote, game-changing moment, all while refusing to make the fucking thing public. This is what you call a transparent proceeding? It's like a young Richard Nixon holding a blank white paper up at his high school debate team and saying he's countering his opponent's arguments by quoting from a, quote, credible source. True story, by the way, in case you forgot he's a fucking shitbag. This effectively flings wide the gates of impeachment for anyone and everyone who offends the party out of power at the moment to be removed from office in contravention of the state's will. You can be so far to the left you fall off the fucking scale and still see why that presents a problem for both parties in the not too far future. This is a dangerous precedent. Granted, it's not cast in stone. She's asked the House to draft articles of impeachment, which, believe it or not, ain't a guarantee. So while it certainly seems we're about to bite down on this clusterfuck, it's still not technically outside the realm of possibility some sane person will slam on the fucking brakes. Politicians are like porn stars, after all. Experts at switching positions on camera. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.